Free condoms, sex trivia, and statistics on the Cal Poly campus. Find out what brought all these things to campus this week.
From safe sex to keeping your electronics safe, we'll have some tips.
And a Cal Poly football player closes in on a new career record.
Broadcasting from Studio 300 on Cal Poly's campus, you're watching Mustang News.
I'm Kyle Shields.
And I'm Taylor Phillips. You're watching our weekly half-hour broadcast of Mustang News. ASI President Jason Colombini sent out a campus-wide survey asking students for their opinion on different policies he's looking to change. The survey covered topics like drinking and smoking on campus, skateboarding on campus, more bike lanes, credit card-friendly parking meters, and renovating Mott Gym.
A single person who's deciding what the priorities for the students, what the priorities for ASI are going to be. It's not me, it's not just one person I talk to, it's the students as a whole who want their voice to be heard. Let your voice be heard, fill out the survey, and that will be our goals and our focuses for the year.
Once he has the results, Colombini plans to spend the rest of his term working on these issues. The survey closed Tuesday morning, and Colombini says the results will ideally be sent out through a campus-wide email as soon as possible. Major changes are coming to the students and how they will sign up for classes. Poly Planner is a new interactive system that will be available to students in winter quarter. It will tell students which classes they have left to take and ask them to click and drag them into the quarter they plan on taking them in. The planner will serve as a way for the university to find out which courses are in high demand and better tailor course offerings to student needs.
We knew the requirements of a degree and what the students needed to take, but we did not know when they were planning to take them. And this is supposed to fill that hole.
Survey sent out to Cal Poly seniors this past weekend. The survey asks them when they plan on graduating, what classes they have left to take, and when they plan on taking them. The survey is open until November 22nd. You can look for Poly Planner early in winter quarter.
A string of property theft has made its way through the Cal Poly area. Reporter Denzel Quarterman tells us how you can keep your belongings safe.
Someone was leaving the front door as I came in, and I didn't think much of it because we live in a sorority house.
Phones, tablets, laptops, a few things that students like Megan Emmer and many others have had taken from out of their own homes.
They cut a slit in this window over here and reached in and grabbed it. My laptop was like sitting here.
Whether through a window or walking right out your front door, devices such as these become a quick target for thieves looking for a payday.
And there are many individuals that will go in and will just check doorknobs. So if there's an unlocked door, nobody's home, they knock, they'll take advantage of that opportunity, go in, and often, again, we will see a high volume of laptops, Apple products, phones, things like that that are stolen.
The problem is, thieves are getting smarter. Previously, you could use the Find My iPhone app to search any of your Apple devices and find their location. But students say that's not enough.
They're pretty sophisticated now. They figured that you're going to do that, so they just take the hard drives out.
And with the holiday season approaching, now is a better time than ever to be a little more cautious.
Just being aware of your surroundings. You know, they're watching us for hours and no one noticed. So that's a little concerning.
Really, as you prepare or students prepare to go home, best case scenario, if you can take these laptops, especially things that have important documents, term papers, ongoing assignments on them, take them home with you, keep them in your trunk or in your parents' house and bring them back when you come.
Denzel Quarterman, Mustang News.
Lieutenant Smith says to keep the serial numbers of expensive items to help identify the stolen property if it is recovered.
Students looking for short-term housing now have more options. The ban on short-term room rentals is now lifted after a city council meeting Tuesday night. The ordinance makes vacation rental homes and homestays illegal, but the council unanimously agreed to temporarily lift the ban to allow residents to rent out their homes.
And I think we as a community, the happiest community, just doesn't seem right to not be able to invite somebody into your home and collect some money.
Many local residents spoke for and against keeping the ban. Reasons to suspend the ban included bringing tourists to the city and allowing homeowners to earn some extra income. The City Council will work on a draft of a new ordinance that will allow homestays but not vacation rentals. The difference between the two, a homestay requires the owner be present during the time of the rental, and a vacation does not.
Cal Poly fraternities Lambda Chi Alpha and Phi Kappa Psi are under social probation for hosting parties during fall recruitment. All interfraternity council organizations signed a sober recruitment agreement at the beginning of the quarter, acknowledging serving alcohol to minors would result in university punishments. University spokesman Matt Lazer said about a dozen people were found drinking in the residence of some members of Phi Kappa Psi and Lambda Chi Alpha. Party was intended to be as small as well. Lazer said, but it reportedly had more than 100 attendees. Both fraternities are currently preparing appeals.
The debate continues over whether or not Cal Poly is truly a dry campus, and students have taken to social media to stir up a response. Students started the Facebook page Cal Poly Students Against Dry Campus for a communication studies project to get students to like their page and take a survey as to whether or not they would support alcohol on campus. The project started out directed towards serving alcohol at sporting events, but since the news broke of a possible future pub on campus, their goals have changed.
As we obviously looked into it and started doing a little bit of research, we found out that the school was thinking about putting a bar in on campus. And then so our idea actually was just kind of like, okay, well, maybe then we could do it to where it's like, oh, we're trying to support putting a bar in on campus.
The group also spoke with the athletic director and the dean of students, who said despite results from the survey on the Facebook page, the switch to a wet campus would have to be a decision made by administration.
One of Cal Poly's innovative and private research sites will open its gates to the public this Saturday. The Cal Poly Center for Coastal Marine Sciences and the Slow Sea Project will host an open house to showcase their research at the Cal Poly Pier. This exclusive look at the half-mile structure and all of its projects happening within it only happens twice a year. Access is normally limited to the Biological Sciences Department. Professors and students will be at the event using interactive displays to show how they're using their learn-by-doing philosophy to protect local ecosystems and sustain local fisheries. The event is from 9 a.m. to noon on November 16th, and everyone attending must wear closed-toed shoes.
A Cal Poly alumnus has used the learn-by-doing philosophy to help expand his family's already large wine empire, and he is speaking to Cal Poly students this Friday. Tom Gallo is coming to speak to students this Friday from 2 until 3:30 p.m. in room 106 of Building 26, better known as the Graphic Communications Building. Gallo is a Cal Poly graduate who majored in graphic communications. He's the grandson of Julio Gallo, who started the Gallo wine empire.
He got his roots here at Cal Poly. The learn-by-doing philosophy at Cal Poly allowed Tom to build this prestigious company all by himself, surround himself with the right people to make it run properly, and today it is one of the best equipped, one of the most modern and high-quality packaging companies in the world.
Gallo's talk, titled Striving for Excellence in Wine Packaging, will help students get more information on Gallo's experiences and his tips for success in the printing industry. Friday's lecture will be free and open to the public.
Some of Cal Poly's students' wardrobes are a little more colorful this weekend. The Cal Poly Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Administration majors held its first Color Me Crazy run on Saturday. The run benefited Special Olympics of San Luis Obispo County. Runners of all ages filled the starting line for the 5K.
I would definitely do it again. My favorite part was the beginning when there was a big blast part and everyone had excitement to start.
There were 276 paid participants at the race. The San Luis Obispo County Special Olympics Office said the gross income of the race was just a bit more than $11,000.
Up next, find out what century-old tradition Cal Poly is celebrating this weekend.
And this two-time team captain is closing to setting some new all-time records. We're profiling defensive tackle Sullivan Gross next.
Safer hosted a new event on campus promoting safe, healthy, and fun sex. We went out to Dexter Law on Tuesday to get a look at Sex on Decks.
Today we're holding an event called Healthy Sex on Decks. We combined with our PTA to create an event that kind of shows that Safer has a more fun side of educating the community on healthy sex and what that means, because a lot of times we get bundled into this kind of scary section of sex.
Australians are the most receptive to the idea of having a threesome. 28% of them have claimed to have tried it.
Oh, that's good.
Good for those Australians.
I partook in some sex jeopardy, and I learned that the average person burns about 20 calories every time they have sex, which I thought would be a lot more, but I guess not.
Free condom. 80% of Cal Poly students are sexually active, and of the 19% who are not sexually active, 43% identify as abstinent.
And everyone should know about safe sex. It's not something, I don't know, it can make some people uncomfortable, but I feel like more people should talk about it openly.
Safer says they encourage students to stop by their office anytime. It's in the UU, room 217. A century-old tradition returns to Cal Poly this weekend. I got a chance to look into its history. This weekend, Cal Poly celebrates an age-old tradition that dates back over 100 years, homecoming. It started out as a reunion opportunity, bringing alumni back to their alma mater. Over time, events such as banquets, the football game, and a homecoming court were added to the tradition. In the early 2000s, the tradition began to fade away, and by 2004, it disappeared altogether. But in 2010, some Poly reps became inspired to bring the tradition back.
After I talked to our advisors, she brought out some old binders and we saw the photos, and there used to be this court and all these crazy things, and so that sounded really cool.
For 3 years now, Poly Reps has been working to make the homecoming court tradition grow.
As of right now, it is just trying to gain popularity as we have a royal court. We really want people to come out and watch the king and queen get selected.
As the tradition continues, its main goal is to bring alumni and current students together.
We really wanted to get the alumni to interact with the students again.
Welcome to buy tickets and come to the alumni barbecue.
The homecoming court is chosen through a complex selection process. Each college has a unique way of nominating one guy and girl, but there's another step to be crowned king and queen.
They then go through an interview with a panel of individuals that my committee and I have selected, and from that interview we pick our king and our queen. They will then be announced at the football game on Saturday in front of everyone. So actually I am the only person right now who knows who king and queen are aside from my advisor, which is really exciting.
Albiani says Poly Reps hopes to have students choose the homecoming court by an election in the future. You can see who wins during halftime at Saturday's game. With homecoming this weekend, there are 12 nominees for king and queen, 2 from each college.
The king and queen will be chosen at the homecoming game this Saturday. To check out their full profiles, go to mustangnews.net.
It's pretty cool to know that they're not just announced to just our colleges, but the entire Cal Poly community as well.
Yeah, I hope one day we really can have a school-wide election.
It'd be cool.
Homecoming weekend kicks off with an alumni awards presentation on Friday evening. That starts at 5:30 in Chumash Auditorium. Saturday's festivities start with a tailgate barbecue at 10 a.m. on Saturday. The annual Mustang Coral Tailgate offers Santa Maria-style food on O'Neill Green. The big homecoming football game versus Eastern Washington starts at 12:40 after the tailgate. You can get tickets for all of those events at tickets.calpoly.edu.
Homecoming is a huge weekend for the seniors on the Cal Poly football team. One of those seniors is shutdown corner Bijan Samudi. Samudi is a major factor in Cal Poly's chances to beat Eastern Washington. The division rivals are ranked 3rd in the country and have a fierce passing attack. Samudi will go one-on-one with the receivers, trying to take them out of the game. Defensive coordinator Josh Brown says he is as good as any corner in the conference. Bijan Samudi fell in love with the game of football at a young age and finds inspiration to keep working hard from his family. Off the field, Go Poly lists opera singing and ballet as his hobbies. This was a joke done by his teammates, but his fellow Mustangs can't deny his talent.
Okay, Bijan, I don't know about the opera, but if you give him a mic, if you just give him a mic, the things that come out of his mouth are simply amazing. I've heard him rap, sing, he dances. Matter of fact, you should get him on camera doing something soon. I feel like he's an incredible talent. He can do it all, everything.
To hear Bijan Samudi sing and learn the shutdown corner's full story, visit mustangnews.net.
Sullivan Gross is a leader among men on the Cal Poly football team. The senior defensive tackle leads the team on the field with 6.5 sacks. As a 2-year team captain, he leads the team everywhere else as well.
And that's something that I do every day. I take that serious every day. And even though I'm always one to throw jokes and have a good time and laugh and joke around, but when it comes down to it and the work ethic, I have to be on top of it all the time.
Gross is only 3 consecutive starts away from breaking into the top 10 all-time at Cal Poly. He also has 20 career sacks, 6th all-time at Cal Poly, meaning this weekend we could see some more Cal Poly records fall.
Coming up next, we'll have your weather for the weekend.
And see what sports team is heading to the NCAA regional tournament this weekend.
Welcome back to Mustang News.
We have Olivia DeGennaro in the studio to let us know what weather we can be expecting this weekend. Olivia?
Thanks, Taylor and Kyle. Well, it has been a hot week with temperatures reaching into the 80-degree mark, but it's going to cool down this weekend. We're going to have cooler temperatures in the 60 to 70-degree range over the weekend, and we're even going to see some breezes and some fog Friday and Saturday. However, even though the temperatures are cooling down, we are still in a drought, and we're going to tell you how that's affecting campus in just a little bit. All right, so up and down the Central Coast, you can see it's pretty consistent in the 70-degree range. We're in the mid to high 70s in North County, mid to low 70s on the coast. We have a high of 77 today in San Luis Obispo. And as you get down towards Santa Maria, it's still in the mid 70-degree range. So pretty consistent all along the Central Coast. Let's talk about that drought. Ranches up and down the coast are feeling the effects of the drought. We look at how this is affecting Cal Poly.
The hills might be green, but the Central Coast is still in the middle of one of the worst droughts in 100 years. Cal Poly's large agriculture department is feeling the effects of the drought, especially in the animal science department.
Yeah, this year we've had a little more than 9 inches of rain, and generally we average almost 26 inches of rain.
Cows are most affected by the drought. Less rain means that there is less grass for cows to eat, and ranch hands are resorting to more expensive alternatives to feed them.
With the lack of rain and the rain quitting so early in this last spring, we've had to supplement the cow-calf pairs with quite a bit of expensive alfalfa. It ranges from $255 to $275 a ton.
Although Cal Poly has to use more expensive options such as hay and alfalfa to feed the cows, Cal Poly's preparation has allowed it to be in a better situation than other local ranches.
I think here on the Cal Poly campus, Aaron's done a magnificent job of managing for these kind of drought circumstances. So we haven't had to cut as deep into our herds as some of the commercial ranches that are in towards the eastern part of San Luis Obispo County.
Cal Poly has cut its herd by 100 so far, but more cuts would affect the amount of money that Cal Poly makes at the end of the year. Alexis Chakuti, Mustang News.
Cal Poly will consider cutting its herd by 50 or so more cattle if the drought continues throughout the next couple of months. So let's hope for some rain this fall. All right, let's get to your 5-day forecast. Today in San Luis Obispo, we have a high of 77 degrees with a low of 58. It's pretty sunny here on the Central Coast. Friday, we have a high of 67, so we are dropping 10 degrees on Friday, and we're going to see a lot of breeze, up to 30 miles an hour, in fact. And we have a low of 53 degrees. Saturday, we're dropping even more to 63 degrees, and we're going to have patchy fog all day. Again, a low of 51 degrees. Sunday, we're going to go back to some sunny weather with a high of 64, so pretty consistent temperature. And Monday, we're going to climb back up toward the 70-degree range, not quite getting there, though. 69 degrees on Monday, and a low of 51 degrees most of the weekend. Well, that's it for your weekend weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, thank you, Olivia.
Sounds like it's cooling off this weekend, finally.
All right, and looks like we're having a pretty big week in sports this week.
We have Ashley Whittingham on the desk. Ashley?
Thanks, guys. Well, the Cal Poly's men's basketball team lost a heartbreaker to the University of Nevada Tuesday night. The Mustangs never trailed during the first half, giving them a 9-point lead going into halftime. To start off the second half, Nevada went on a 16-2 run to give the Wolfpack a 49-46 lead with 3:34 to play. The Mustangs then regained the lead with a layup by senior forward Chris Eversley with 28 seconds left. But the Mustangs could not stop Nevada's star point guard, who converted a last-second steal into a 3-point play to give the Wolfpack a 60-58 victory. 13 of Cal Poly's 17 turnovers happened during the second half. The Mustangs were led by senior forward Chris Eversley, who had 19 points and 9 rebounds.
We got a lead, like down the stretch. You know, we kind of let it
get to us tonight. So that's something we're going to look to definitely fix in practice this upcoming week and get ready for Fresno State.
The Mustangs return to action on November 20th at Fresno State. The Cal Poly women's basketball team is hoping to make a big upset this Friday as they take on number 5 ranked Stanford at Maples Pavilion. The Mustangs, who are selected to finish first in the Big West Conference this season, are currently 0-2 after traveling to Chicago this past weekend to face Duquesne University and Harvard University. Redshirt senior Jonae Irvin was named to the all-tournament team after averaging 21 points and 4 rebounds. The Mustangs are also led by senior captains Molly Schlemmer and Amaka Ofodu.
This is just like a major opportunity for Cal Poly, and I feel like if we can play against Stanford, we can play against anybody.
The Mustangs got a little taste of playing on the big stage last year as they earned their first ever bid to the NCAA tournament after winning the Big West Conference tournament. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. and will be televised on the Pac-12 network. After a blowout win versus Sacramento State last weekend, Cal Poly football is hosting Eastern Washington this Saturday at Spano Stadium, and it won't be easy. The Swoops are coming to Cal Poly undefeated in the Big Sky. The Mustangs sit at 4-2 in conference play and need a win this weekend to keep themselves alive for an FCS at-large bid. Now, about 20 members of the undefeated 1953 squad will be honored at halftime. Kickoff for the game will be at 12:40 Saturday. Moving on to the cross-country team, after Big West wins last weekend on the men's and women's sides, they are heading to the NCAA West Regional. The race is in Sacramento on Friday morning. It will be a 10K for men and a 6K for women. Chris Frias is pacing the men's team. He defended his individual Big West Conference title last week and was named Big West Conference Male Cross-Country Athlete of the Year. On the women's side, Laura Hollander is leading the Mustangs in their 4th championship. After the West Regional race, the cross-country team is trying to qualify to the NCAA D1 Championships in Indiana on November 23rd. Cal Poly's wrestling team kicked off their season with a 25-6 blowout over CSU Bakersfield. The match opened with a 12-11 decision for freshman Sohrab Mohabbadi and then a 2-1 decision for Dominic Castle. But it was Sean Doherty's 12-1 decision that gave the Mustangs a 10-0 advantage and the team cruised on to victory. The win broke the Mustangs' 2-game losing streak to Bakersfield and suggests a turnaround from last season's 2-11 record. Cal Poly's next match is on Sunday at the Roadrunner Open in Fresno. And that's it for sports.
Wow, let's hope wrestling has a win next weekend in Fresno.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of stuff's going to be going on this weekend. All right. And the Penn 15 Club will be in the UU tonight for a funny look at masculinity.
And Pollywood is next. Welcome back, Mustangs.
We have Ashley DeVrend in the studio to let us know what's going on campus. Ashley?
Thank you, Kyle and Taylor. First up is the Penn 15 Club. While the Gender and Equity Center offers events for women to relate to, the Penn 15 Club is a chance for men to have something to relate to. The Gender and Equity Center is putting on the Penn 15 Club event tonight in the UU, where Smile and Nod will be performing skits on masculinity and male stereotypes.
Is there's not a lot of conversations going around about like what is healthy masculinity, like how do we, like what issues do men face and how do we get past those issues or talk about those issues.
Cooper said he hopes both men and women will join in on the discussion. The Penn 15 Club will be tonight from 7 to 9 in UU room 220. A popular parody is bringing magic and laughs to Cal Poly this weekend. Potted Potter is what it's called, and it's the unauthorized Harry Potter experience. And it's coming to the Christopher Cohan Center at the Performing Arts Center on Sunday. The play covers all 7 Harry Potter books and features songs, props, and even a live game of Quidditch with audience participation. There will be 2 performances on Sunday, and tickets are now available online at packslow.org. He appears as a regular on the comedy show Chelsea Lately and sells out comedy shows around the nation. Now you have a chance to see him in person.
He's not Mexican, he's something.
Comedian Joe Coy is performing Saturday, November 16th at the Madonna Expo Center. The show starts at 8 at night. Tickets are still left, and you can get them online at joecoy.com. That about wraps it up for Pollywood. Back to you two at the desk.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley.
I've seen him on Chelsea lately. He's really funny. That's about it for our show this week. Thanks for watching today's Mustang News. You can tune in to our weekly half-hour broadcast on Channel 19, Charter Channel 19, UHTV Channel 7, and Campus Channel 2.
You can also find constant broadcast coverage on mustangnews.net. Have a great day, Cal Poly.